Welcome to Style to Rise, the podcast where real women share real stories about style, confidence, and everything in between. I'm your host, Jeanine, image consultant, entrepreneur, and your personal cheerleader in confidence and style. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's get started. What if the moments that make you feel like you're falling are actually the moments shaping you the most? What if your hardest season, the ones where you feel misunderstood, exhausted, and not like yourself, are not the end of your story, but the part where your real strength is being built? Because the truth is, we live in a world where everyone shares their wins, their success, their highlights, the beautiful moments. But we really talk about the seasons where things feel heavy, where you question yourself, where you feel like you're not showing up as your best. And I've been there this season. I've been in a season like that. This year started out rough for me. Unexpected things happened in our family. My father-in-law was very sick. And with situations like that, emotions run high and things get complicated. Somewhere along the line, I was made into something or someone that I'm not. And the hardest part was that I never really had the opportunity to explain my side of the story. And when things like that happen, it affects you more than you realize. It affected my energy, it affected my inspiration, it affected my work. My year started slower than usual. I didn't have that spark that normally drives me, but I still showed up. Even on the days where I didn't feel creative or motivated, I showed up anyway. And sometimes that's the quiet kind of strength nobody sees. One of the highlights during this time was our ladies' event, standing in a room filled with incredible women, hearing their stories, connecting with them. That reminded me why I do what I do. It reminded me that even when you feel uncertain, your purpose doesn't disappear. Sometimes you just need people to remind you of that again. And then there was my marathon. I ran my first marathon again after almost a year and a half. Normally, running is my place of strength. It's where I feel powerful and focused. But this race was different. It felt like torture. My body didn't want to cooperate. My mind was heavy, and I couldn't give it the way I used to. Every kilometer felt harder than it should have, but I finished. Not because it was my best race, not because it was pretty, but because I wanted to show my children something important. No matter how hard things get, we finish. And that made me realize something about failure. Failure isn't always losing. Failure isn't always falling behind. Sometimes failure simply looks like a season where you're not your strongest, but you're still standing, you're still trying, and you are still moving forward. And those seasons teach us some of the most important lessons. They teach us that our identity is not defined by what others say about us. They teach us that showing up, even when you feel uninspired, still matters. They teach us that showing up, even when you feel uninspired, still matters. They teach us that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes strength is quiet persistence. And maybe the biggest lesson of all, your worst race, your hardest season, your most misunderstood moments, they don't disqualify you from your purpose. If anything, they deepen it. So, if you're in a season where things feel heavy, where people misunderstand you, where you feel like you're not performing the way you used to, just remember this. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep on going. Because sometimes the greatest success isn't winning. Sometimes the greatest success is simply refusing to quit. So keep on going. I'll see you in the next episode. With all my love, Jeanine. Thanks for joining me today on Styled to Rise. If you enjoyed this conversation, share it with a friend who could use a little inspiration and style in her life. And remember, confidence isn't about having it all together. It's about showing up exactly as you are and owning it. Until next time, keep styling, keep rising, and keep showing up.